Hi students, good evening. So we are in the session 12 of electrostatic potential and capacitors. In Canada, we look at the thing about these capacitor circuits and other simplification. Capacitor circuits and simplification. Okay. So we'll cover this concept also in a little bit more detail. But if you look at the trend in terms of the NEET examination, right? Adila, they have covered only certain models of question. Okay, like we'll discuss about it. We'll try to cover a little bit more than what is generally asked in the NEET level. Okay, so that if there are by chance giving any question, little bit tougher question, different model question, that also we should be able to answer it. Okay, so we'll start the discussion. So we are going to discuss about the capacitor and capacitor circuits. So capacitor circuit and sonna therima, if you are having a voltage source like a battery or a cell, and we keep a network of these capacitors. See, already what is it? The series combination and parallel combination, that is over. So we are looking at the circuits which are not just having capacitors in series and capacitors in parallel. Okay, so on the series parallel combination we are having what a different arrangement. So in the madri irukla. So here you cannot say all of them are in series. Okay, paranga, we can say maybe none of them are actually in series or parallel, paranga. So we are not able to see any of these things arranged in series or parallel combination. Okay, so either general circuit. Okay, but this kind of arrangement is what we will refer to as what the capacitor circuits. So we will not be able to identify straight away parallel or series. Okay, so that is what we will generally refer to as the capacitor circuit. If we are going to look at simplification of this. Simplification and so now what is it? They will be asking generally they will be asking what is the charge on a particular capacitor. They will be asking what is the potential difference across a capacitor. And the questions. Okay, so mainly they will be asking what is the charge on a particular capacitor and what is the potential difference on a capacitor. And the questions were okay. When you look at these capacitor simplification circuits, we will divide them into mostly 5 categories. So first category, right, we can call it as models of questions. First model, this is the most important for the NEET examination. And maximum in the past years observe panna in the model and the questions. Okay, whenever you have capacitor circuit based questions, right, you will be having only on this model mostly. Okay, so then like you will not have all the capacitors in series and all the capacitors in parallel, but you will have part series, part parallel. Part series, part parallel, you will have 2 of these capacitors might be in series. 2 or 3 capacitors might be in parallel. So full capacitors pattern they will not be present, but part when you look at them in parts, right, you will see that a part of them will be in series combination, another part of them might be in parallel. Okay, so this is the most important model of question that we will have to practice. So we will try to spend most of our time on this. Okay, second model and this is another model where we have scope for getting in the NEET examination. This is generally what we call as symmetric circuits ன்னு சொல்லலாம். இதுல மேஜரா நமக்கு வர எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் Wheatstone bridge. திருப்பி in the case of resistors also நம்ம இந்த Wheatstone bridge பத்தி பேச போறோம். So Wheatstone bridge involving capacitors. ஓகேவா? Other thing is infinite series ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஏன்னா one model of this question right is also there in the NCERT example இருக்கா. So we also have to cover that. What is it? Infinite series. Infinite series ன்னு சொன்னா you will have infinite number of capacitors but arranged in a pattern, symmetric pattern இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? This is the second model of question. இது important தான். Third model என்னன்னா the switch based questions. இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா, அந்த சர்க்யூட் குள்ள there will be a switch. நீங்க switch open பண்ணா this is what switch is. What is a switch? A switch is used to either close the circuit or open the circuit. Okay, so switch ninga open panna then it means what, that particular branch is broken. If you are closing the switch means there is a connection. So on the switch base panni we will have some scenarios and the madri questions varum. Okay va? Fourth model is the general circuit and solala. General circuit. So this solve பண்றதுக்கு என்ன தெரியுமா, we will use the Kirchhoff's rules in case of capacitors. Again we'll talk about the Kirchhoff's rules in current. Okay va? So there will be some difference between Kirchhoff's rules in current and Kirchhoff's rule in the case of the capacitor circuit. Okay va? This is the fourth category. Fifth category என்ன தெரியுமா, plates connected. So the problem la paatha they will not give us any capacitors. Capacitor மாதிரி கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. They will give us what, plates. ஒரு 4-5 plates இருக்கும். They will be connecting 2 plates here and 3 plates there, அந்த மாதிரி connections இருக்கும். அதுல இருந்து we have to frame the capacitor circuit. So இது கொஞ்சம் ட்ரிக்கியா இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? So they will not even give us இந்த மாதிரி capacitors arrange பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. They will be giving us what, so we will see example on that also. And they will be giving us வெறும் plates will be given and the plates will be connected. அதுல இருந்து we have to design the circuit. அதுக்கப்புறம் we have to simplify. ஓகேவா? So these 4 and 5, right, even we can expect some questions on this also. In the switch base panni also we can expect some questions, but 4 and 5 generally we will not get questions in the NEET examination level, but we will just take a look at it. There will be similarity between the Kirchhoff law in current electricity chapter and Kirchhoff law here. Adha nam inga observe panna we will see that when we go to the resistor circuit, right, anga apdiye oru repeat panna madri aidum. Okay va? So other thing is what, the plates which are connected, anga or circuit irukadu, they will be giving us just generally plates kudupan. அதுல இருந்து we have to design the circuit, அதுக்கப்புறம் we have to solve it. ஓகேவா? So these are the 5 models of questions. Generally என்ன தெரியுமா, whenever we are practicing questions we will try to look at them in a particular model so that நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி we will have the familiarity. Okay, so we should have familiarity with the questions, then only we will be able to attempt the questions with confidence. Okay va? So we'll look at these models of questions one by one. First and we'll start with this model 1. Model 1 is what, part series. Adana, what is model 1? Part series and part parallel. Okay va? Paranga, what is the question that is given? In the given figure 3 capacitors are there. C1 irka, C2 irka, C3 irka, are joined to a battery. Paranga, so this is the voltage source or the battery, they are joined with symbols having their usual meanings. Symbols having their usual meanings and sonna, what is it? Now paranga, we are saying what, V here. What is the V? V represents the source voltage, and the mother V1 will be what, potential difference across the capacitor 1. Q1 and the charge on the capacitor 1. And the mother paranga, V2 will be what, potential difference across capacitor 2. Q2 will be what, charge on the capacitor 2. Ingane paranga, V3 is what, the potential difference across capacitor 3. Q3 is what? Charge on the capacitor 3. Okay va? That's the usual meaning and sonna. Okay. இப்போ பாருங்க இங்கிலிருந்து we have to conclude which of these statements charge are the based upon the relation they are giving, and the மாதிரி they are also giving the relation in terms of the potential of the source. இங்க பாருங்க they are giving relation in terms of what? Potential of the source and potential differences across the capacitors. Okay va? So charge based upon they are giving the relation, and the மாதிரி they are also giving the relation in terms of the source voltage and potential difference across the capacitors. பாருங்க what is the answer for this? So here C2 and C3 are in parallel dana. Parallel means what? Potential difference across them will be same, which means the V2 oda value will be equal to V3. V2 value will be equal to what? V3. Okay. So இப்ப பாருங்க when you try to இதன் C1 potential difference V1, when you try to replace இந்த C2 C3 ரெண்டுத்தையும் நம்ம replace பண்ணா by using the equivalent capacitor. Remember, if you are looking at a parallel combination of capacitors, potential difference across each of the capacitor will be same. That will be same as the potential difference across the equivalent capacitor. அதுதானா? இப்போ நீங்க அந்த ரெண்டு capacitor நம்ம equivalent capacitance வச்சு replace பண்ணா the potential difference across the equivalent capacitor will be what? V2, which will be equal to V3. Okay va? Now look at this. When you look at the potential difference across the capacitor, what is it? V1 plus potential difference across the equivalent capacitor. Adanadi we can either say V2 and solala or V3 and solala, because both of them will be equal. Potential difference across the capacitor 1 plus potential difference across this equivalent capacitance of C2 and C3. Other equivalent capacitance, what will be the potential difference across it? Either V2 or V3. And V2 and V3 both are same. Okay. So V1 plus V2 add பண்ண வரும் the source voltage தானா. So potential difference across capacitor 1 plus potential difference across the equivalent capacitor எவ்வளவு? Source voltage, which means what? V1 plus V2 is equal to V. இதை நம்ம இப்படி சொல்லலாம். We can also say it like what? V1 plus V3 is equal to V. ஏன்னா V2 is equal to V3, right? இங்க பாருங்க இருக்கிற ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்ல what is the thing that will satisfy this relation? V1 plus V2 is equal to V. எங்க இருக்கா? Where is this? It is in option C தானா? Where is this relation? The relation is where? In option C. So இந்த ஒரு point base பண்ணி can we say that the correct answer is option C? அப்படி சொல்ல முடியுமா? We are getting the relation V1 plus V2 is equal to V, right? அந்த ஒரு relation base பண்ணி can we straight away conclude the option? அப்படி conclude பண்ண முடியுமா பாருங்க. ஏன்னா இந்த மாதிரி questionsல if you are able to conclude the answer by using one of these values, you can save lot of time. ஏன்னா நம்ம அந்த charge relation calculate பண்ண தேவையில்லை. So we will be able to save the time, right? But இங்க நம்ம பார்க்கணும், can we conclude that answer by just using this statement? அப்படி பண்ண முடியுமா? சரி, கண்டிப்பா ஆப்ஷன் A கிடையாது. ஏன்னா V1 V2 V3 all of them are not equal. அந்த மாதிரி இதே கிடையாது. ஆப்ஷன் B கிடையாது. ஏன்னா ஆப்ஷன் B ல என்ன சொல்றாங்க? V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. அது கிடையாது. ஆப்ஷன் C ல we are getting the result V is equal to V1 plus V2. பட் நீங்க பாருங்க ஆப்ஷன் D ல என்ன சொல்றாங்க? V2 is equal to V3. அதே கரெக்ட் தானா? Option D, what is the statement they are saying? V2 is equal to V3. That is also correct. Okay, because they are what? Parallel. They are what? Parallel, right? So potential difference on them will be same. But என்ன தெரியுமா? You look at the charge information. அங்க charge பத்தி என்ன சொல்றாங்க? In option D, Q2 oda value is equal to Q3. Is it correct? Because they have the same potential difference but capacitance different, right? ஏன்னா ஒரு கெப்பாசிட்டரோட கெப்பாசிட்டன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ C2, இன்னொன்று கெப்பாசிட்டரோட கெப்பாசிட்டன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ C3. ஸோ Q2 will be equal to what? என்னது C2 into V2. Q3 is equal to what? C3 into V3. V2 and V3 values are same because that is the parallel combination. But C2 and C3 are different, right? அவங்களுக்கு clear-ஆ சொல்றாங்க. What is it? Three different capacitors, C1 and C2 and C3. Okay. So since C2 and C3 will be different, right? Q2 and Q3, they will not be equal. The charge on the capacitor 2 and charge on the capacitor 3, they will not be equal. Okay, wow. So option D cannot be the answer. So by this only we are able to conclude what will be the answer for this. Varanga, what is it? Option C will be the answer. What is the answer for this question? Option C will be the answer. If we will also look at how do we understand the relation in terms of the charge. The charge relation. So we are able to conclude the answer. See, this is what people generally refer to as how do we approach the problem to get the answer fast. Without even solving the full problem, right? Nama the charge relation nama solve pannala. But we are able to get what is the right answer. Okay, va? If you approach panna, you will be able to save time in the final examination. Okay. So if because we are in the practice session, right? Pakala enna relation. What is the relation in terms of the charge? So ingane theriyuma, just observe this junction. In the junction mattum neenga observe pannunga. What is the junction? The junction which is connecting C1 oda oru plate, இந்த பக்கம் என்ன another plate of C2, இந்த பக்கம் plate of C3. ஓகேவா? So இப்போ பாருங்க, the left plate of this C1 is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. அப்போ இங்க என்ன வரும்? பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜ் வரும். இங்க என்ன வரும்? பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜ் வரும். இங்க எப்படி? நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜ். What is the value? Q1. So on this plate C1, what is the charge that is coming? Minus Q1 தானா? இங்க வர சார்ஜ் எவ்வளவு? minus Q1. Okay. What is charge here? Minus Q1. Okay, va? And here negative charge is coming means what will be the charge on these plates C2 and C3? இங்க பாருங்க, C2 oda right side plate, C3 oda right side plate, they are connected to what? Negative terminal of the battery. அதனால இந்த பக்கம் என்ன வரும்? நெகட்டிவ் வரும். This side will be what? Negative. So the plate here Q2 will be positive. இங்க அப்படிதான் Q3 will be what? Positive. இப்போ பாருங்க, all these charges are coming from the junction. All the charges are coming from the junction, but junction is what? Neutral. And the connect panna junction is what? Neutral. Neutral and sonna theriyuma, what is it? That will not have any charge. So when you add up all these charges and the junction landu இந்த பக்கம் எவ்வளவு வருது? minus Q1. That side Q2. நீங்க எல்லா சார்ஜ் ஆட் பண்ணா what should be 0 தானா? Because that is neutral. இந்த பக்கம் எவ்வளவு வருது? minus Q1. That side we are getting plus Q2 and plus Q3. Totally நம்ம ஆட் பண்ணா it should be what? 0 தானா? Because the junction is neutral. So this is what we call as the junction rule and சொல்லுவோம். Okay, in case of the capacitors, நீங்க ஒரு junction எடுத்தா the total charge that is taken from the junction will be what? 0. ஒரு சைடுல நீங்க நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜ் எடுத்தா இன்னொரு சைடுல what you will do? You will take positive charge. So when you add up all the charges, what will be the value? 0. This is what we call as the junction rule in the capacitors. இந்த மாதிரி when we go to the resistance, right, அங்கேயும் ஒரு junction rule வரும். அங்க என்ன தெரியுமா? If you are having a junction, let us say இந்த பக்கத்துல இருந்து ஒரு current I1 வந்தது. The current leaving is that side is I2, this side is I3. So there junction rule will be total current entering the junction is equal to total current leaving the junction. That is what we call as the Kirchhoff's junction rule in resistances. This is the junction rule in capacitor. If you are having a junction means the total charge taken from the junction will be what? 0. And the junction is neutral. So it's neutral wire dana. So adula irundhu ஒரு சைடுல if you take a negative charge means other side you will be taking what? Positive charge. அப்படிதான் வரும். So பாருங்க, what is the relation we have? In the Q1 நீங்க அப்படியே right side எடுத்துட்டு போனா it will become positive, right? So Q2 plus Q3, அதோட value is equal to what? Q1. பாருங்க. So what is the correct answer for this? Option C. இந்த சார்ஜோட ரிசல்ட் நம்ம solve panna, we are able to conclude that okay, this is the option C, but we are able to tell the answer. Good, Aditi and Maithili, but we are able to tell the answer even before doing that charge calculation. Okay, neenga practice பண்ணும்போது if you are able to do like this, right, அப்பதான் you will be able to save some time. ஏன்னா கண்டிப்பா ஒரு சில questions இல்லைன்னா you will have this scope. இந்த மாதிரி பண்றதுக்கு you will have a chance, so you don't need to solve the full. என்ன இப்போ ஒரு சில questions இல்லைன்னா they will be asking 2 or 3 quantities. அதுல sometimes, right, when you are able to solve one of the quantities means you will be able to conclude the answer. Okay, so we have to always look for that kind of an opportunity so that we can save the time. Okay va? So அடுத்த question போல வாங்க. So what is this? Another model 1. So as I said, right, we are going to solve lot of questions in the model 1. இங்க பாருங்க, find equivalent capacitance across AB. Across AB and சொன்ன என்ன தெரியுமா? This is how we have to understand. அந்த AB, across AB நம்ம ஒரு பேட்டரியோ இல்லைன்னா செல்லோ கனெக்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி. So we are connecting a battery or cell across AB. ஓகேவா? So அப்படிதான் நம்ம அசியூம் பண்ணணும். So we have to find equivalent capacitance across AB. Across AB we have to find the equivalent capacitance. இங்க பாருங்க, so this is part வரும். So 2 and 2 are in parallel. The 2 microfarad and 2 microfarad are what? Parallel. So when capacitors are in parallel, what is the equivalent capacitance? C equivalent எவ்வளோ? C1 plus C2 தானா? அந்த மாதிரி இங்க பாருங்க, 4 and 4 they are in series. Okay, 4 and 4 are in series. So what is the equivalent capacitance? 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4. C1 into C2 by C1 plus C2 தானா? இங்க பாருங்க, what is it? 16 by 8, that is 2. எவ்வளவு வருது? 16 by 8, that is what? 2. ஓகேவா? So இப்போ நம்ம இந்த சர்க்யூட் கொஞ்சம் சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ண என்ன வரும் பாருங்க. ஸோ ஏபி அப்படியே இருக்கும். ஸோ ஸ்டெப்பாக நம்ம பண்ணணும். ஸோ ஏபி அப்படியே இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? இங்கே என்னது? 4 மைக்ரோஃபாரட். ஓகேவா? ஸோ இங்கே பாருங்க, 2 மைக்ரோஃபாரட் 2 மைக்ரோஃபாரட், அந்த ரெண்டு காம்பினேஷனோட ஈக்குவலண்ட் எவ்வளோ வரும்? 2 and 2 parallel means it becomes 4. ஸோ அந்த ரெண்டு கெப்பாசிட்டி நம்ம ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணலாம் by using what? ஒரு 4 மைக்ரோஃபாரட். அந்த மாதிரி இங்கே என்ன இருக்கு பாருங்க, 4 and 4 அதோட ஈக்குவலண்ட் எவ்வளோ? 2. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப். இங்கல என்ன தெரியுமா பாருங்க, இங்க எப்படி இருக்கா? 4 and 4 are in series, right? ஸோ அதோட ஈக்குவலண்ட் எவ்வளோ வரும்? சேம் 2 தான் வரும். ஸோ அடுத்த ஸ்டெப் பாருங்க எப்படி வருதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ நம்ம ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பாக பண்ணணும். ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ண என்னது? 2 மைக்ரோ, இந்த பக்கம் 2 மைக்ரோ. இப்போ பாருங்க, 2 மைக்ரோ 2 இதுதான் A and B. 2 மைக்ரோ they are in parallel தானா? ஸோ parallel means what? C equivalent எவ்வளோ? ஃபைனல் C equivalent எவ்வளோ? C1 plus C2, 2 plus 2. செக் பண்ணுங்க, what is the answer? So Aditi and Maithili, you have to confirm whether you are able to get this 4 microfarad or not. என்ன பண்ணிருக்கோம்? We were just doing the simplification step by step. Okay, so first என்ன பாருங்க. So this இங்க இருக்கிற 4 and 4 are in series. இது ரெண்டு நம்ம சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணா what is it that you are getting? 2. அந்த மாதிரி இங்க இருக்கிற 2 and 2 are in parallel. அந்த ரெண்டு நம்ம சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணா 4 வருது. ஓகேவா? So இப்போ பாருங்க, 4 and 4 series. அங்கிருந்து we are getting what? 2 micro. So இப்போ இந்த 2 micro and the 2 micro are what? Parallel. So what is the final equivalent? C1 plus C2, which is 2 plus 2, 4. Okay. So அடுத்த question பாருங்க. இது என்ன தெரியுமா? This is a very interesting question. This is generally called as dragging a junction, இது ஒரு standard word, dragging a junction along a simple wire. என்ன தெரியுமா? What is this model called as dragging a junction along a simple wire? Simple wire என்ன தெரியுமா? வெறும் அந்த wire மட்டும் தான் இருக்கும். Simple wire ன்னு சொன்னா what is it? There will be only that wire. இங்க பாருங்க, அப்படியே பார்த்தா you are not able to see. So what is our task here? We have to calculate the equivalent capacitance of the value across A and B. அதை நம்ம calculate பண்ணணும். பாருங்க, அப்படியே பார்த்தா you are not able to see எங்க parallel இருக்கா எங்க சீரிஸ் இருக்கான்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஓகே, பட் என்ன தெரியுமா, இதான் நான் சொல்ல ஜங்ஷன், டிராகிங் ஜங்ஷன். இங்க பாருங்க, இங்க ஒன்றும் கிடையாது, சிம்பிள் வயர் தானா, நீங்க அப்படியே டிராக் பண்ணி, ஏன்னா பிகாஸ் சிம்பிள் வயர் இஸ் நத்திங். சிம்பிள் வயர் இஸ் வாட்? இட் இஸ் லைக் அ பியூர் கண்டக்டர். ஸோ அதுலேருந்து we can just move the connection anywhere. ஸோ இங்கேருந்து நீங்கள் அப்படியே ட்ராக் பண்ணால் என்ன ஆகிடும், ட்ராக் பண்ணிவிட்டு நீங்கள் அங்கே போய் பிளேஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ அது எப்படி மாறும் பாருங்க, when you place it there, right, இங்கே ஒரு சி இருக்கா, அதுக்கப்புறம் இங்கே ஒன்று சி இப்படி வந்தது. So this C is becoming what? Parallel. This C is becoming, so நீங்க இந்த ஜங்ஷன் அப்படியே drag பண்ணி அங்க போய் place பண்ணா what is it? These two are becoming what? Parallel. ஓகேவா? then this is point B. Okay, so பாருங்க, இங்க என்ன இருக்கா? capacitance. இது அப்படியே இருக்கும். இந்த C ஓட வேல்யூ அப்படியே இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? அதுக்கப்புறம் you will get the point A. பட் இங்கிருந்து இங்க ஒன்று பிரான்ச் இருக்கு பாருங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ this is the C. ஸோ எப்படி இது மாறுது, how it is changing? நம்ம இங்கிருந்து எடுத்துட்டு we are just dragging the junction and keeping there. அங்க நீங்க போய் பிளேஸ் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. what is it happening? இங்க பாருங்க, ஸோ இந்த C ஓட வேல்யூ and இந்த C, they both will become parallel. ஓகேவா? this particular C will come like this. இதுதான் modification. so இதுக்கு என்ன, what is the word that we use? Dragging a junction along a simple wire. so ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க, whenever you see a wire like this, right, அப்படி நீங்க அந்த simple wire நீங்க observe பண்ணா, if you are not able to straight away see எங்க சீரிஸ் வருதா இல்லைன்னா எங்க parallel வருதா நீங்க observe பண்ண முடியலன்னு, think about this point. what is it? நீங்க அப்படியே அந்த junction drag பண்ணி போய் place பண்ணலாம். place பண்ணா you will be able to see the simplification. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இப்போ என்னது பாருங்க, C and C are in parallel. ஸோ அதோட ஈக்குவலண்ட் எவ்வளோ வரும்? 2C. ஸோ ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பாக பண்ணலாம். ஸோ ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணால் we'll replace with what? 2C. இங்கே B இருக்கும், இங்கே A இருக்கும். ஓகே, இங்கே பாருங்க, C and 2C are in series. அதோட ஈக்குவலன்ஸ் எவ்வளோ வரும்? C into 2C by C plus 2C தானே. what is it? 2C square by 3C. அது எவ்வளோ? 2 by 3C வருது. what is it coming as? 2 by 3C. okay, so இப்போ என்ன, we'll have to replace both of them by 2 by 3C. பாருங்க, 2 by 3C வருதுங்க, கீழே ஒரு C இருக்கும், இந்த பக்கம் B, இந்த பக்கம் A. so the 2 by 3C and the C, they both are in parallel, right? so what is the final C equivalent value? Parallel means what? C1 plus C2 dana. what is it? 5 by 3C பாருங்க. so then this is a standard question. this is called as what? Dragging a junction along a wire. okay, so in the problem நீங்க செக் பண்ணுங்க, what is the Okay, what is the answer for this? 5 by 3 C. That is the equivalent capacitance. After the question paranga, this is another interesting question. Like they will give us capacitors on the sides of a in the madri pentagon or a hexagon or a square. They will ask us capacitance value across different points. 5 capacitors, each capacitance value C are connected as shown. They are all kept on the sides of that pentagon. The ratio of the capacitance between P and R and the capacitance between P and Q. First, we will try to find what is the capacitance value between P and R. Adukapram we will have to find the capacitance, equivalent capacitance value between P and Q. Find panadukapram we have to take the ratio of them. Find out panadukapram we have to take the ratio of them. Okay, va? So the first we will look at what is the capacitance across P and R. P enga irukka, R enga irukka. Okay, va? So apdiye neenga join panna madri. So we have to find the capacitance across P and R. Ipo parunga C5, C4, C3 இந்த மூணு எப்படி இருக்கா series. அந்த மாதிரி இந்த பக்கம் C1 and C2 are series. So C5, C4, C3 are series. Series and so now what is it? 1 by C equivalent is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. எல்லாரோட value என்னது C தானா? So which is what? 3 by C. So இதுல இருந்து C equivalent எவ்வளவு? C by 3. So இது நம்ம ஒரு standard result மாதிரி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கலாம். When you have n number of equal capacitances in series, then அதோட equivalence எவ்வளவு வரும் தெரியுமா? It will be coming as what? C by n வரும். If you are having two equal capacitors in series means அதோட equivalent capacitance எவ்வளவு வரும்? C by 2 வரும். If you are having 3 means C by 3 வரும். If you are having 10 means C by 10 அந்த மாதிரி. ஓகேவா? So the equivalent of C5, C4, C3 எவ்வளவு? C by 3. இந்த பக்கம் என்னது? C1 and C2 are in series, right? So இங்க அப்படிதானா? 1 by C equivalent is equal to 1 by C plus 1 by C. இது எவ்வளவு? 2 by C. So இங்கல இருந்து C equivalent எவ்வளவு? C by 2. இப்ப பாருங்க, P இங்க இருக்கா, R இங்க இருக்கா. இந்த பக்கம் என்னது? C by 3. அந்த பக்கம் we are having C by 2. Total equivalent and சொன்னா both are like parallel branches, right? இந்த பக்கம் இருக்கிற branch அந்த பக்கம் இருக்கிற branch both are like what? Parallel தானா? So இப்ப பாருங்க, what is parallel means? C by 2 plus C by 3 அவ்வளவுதான். What is it? 5C by 6. அதோட வேல்யூ என்ன? 5C by 6. So equivalent capacitance across P and R எவ்வளவு? 5C by 6. அது அப்படியே இருக்கட்டும். Okay. So we are able to find what is the equivalent capacitance across P and R. After that, now we have to find equivalent capacitance between P and Q. Adu nama find out pannanum. We should find out what is the equivalent capacitance between P and Q. Adu eppadi varanga? P enga irukka, Q enga irukka. Okay, idu enna theriyuma? C5, C4, C3, C2 இதெல்லாம் சீரிஸ்ல இருக்கிற மாதிரி. So we are connecting P and Q. அந்த ரெண்டு நம்ம கனெக்ட் பண்ணா already there is a C1. அங்க என்ன இருக்க? C1 இருக்கா. இந்த பக்கம் C2, C3, C4, C5 all are in series. இதெல்லாம் என்னது? இந்த branch என்னது? Series. ஓகேவா? 4 capacitors in series. Already நான் சொன்னா அந்த result. What is it? If 4 capacitors of equal value are in series, அதோட ஈக்குவலன்ட் கெபாசிட்டன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு வரும்? C by 4 வரும். ஓகேவா? அவ்வளவுதான். See, இந்த மாதிரி நீங்க ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ரிசல்ட்ஸ் நீங்க ஞாபகம் வச்சா it will be easy for you to solve the questions. இங்க பாருங்க, C2, C3, C4, C5 எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம ஒரே கெபாசிட்டன்ஸ் வச்சு ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணலாம். What is it? Equivalent capacitance எவ்வளவு? C by 4. இப்போ பாருங்க, இந்த C by 4 and C1 ஓட வேல்யூ என்ன? C தானா? Each of the capacitance is C only. C by 4 and C are in parallel. So that a final equivalent capacity எவ்வளவு வரும்? Parallel means what? அதானது 5C by 4. So capacitance across P and Q எவ்வளவு? 5C by 4. Okay. So capacitance across P and R எவ்வளவு 5C by 6, capacitance across P and Q எவ்வளவு 5C by 4. ஓகேவா? So இங்க 5C cancel ஆயிடும். பாருங்க, what is it? Capacitance across P and R, P and Q எவ்வளவு 1 by 6 divide by 1 by 4. அப்படியே அந்த 4 மேல போயிடும். So 4 by 6. What is 4 by 6? 2 by 3. Good, Maithili. So in the question paranga, what is the answer for this? The ratio எவ்வளவு வரும்? Ratio should be coming as what? 2 by 3. Okay va? So in the மாதிரி questions, right, like here we are solving pentagon. Maybe they can give us a question on the hexagon, or they can give us simplified na ஒரு square எடுத்துட்டு keep the capacitors on the sides of the square. Okay, இந்த மாதிரி model typically they will be choosing 2 points, ரெண்டு point choose பண்ணி they will be asking the capacitance across these 2 points, or இங்க இருக்கிற மாதிரி like they will be asking what the ratio of the capacitances. இங்க என்னது, first we are finding what is the equivalent capacitance between P and R. அதுக்கப்புறம் we are calculating what is the equivalent capacitance between P and Q, and we are taking the ratio of the two. Okay va? So what is the answer for this? 2 by 3. In the question paranga, in the circuit shown in the figure, the ratio of charge on the 5 microfarad and 2 microfarad is how much? என்ன கேக்குறாங்க? Charge on the 5 microfarad is to charge on the 2 microfarad, and the ratio கேக்குறாங்க. ஓகேவா? எப்படி பாருங்க, இதனது branch 1 ன்னு சொல்ல, இதனது branch 2. branch 1 அப்படியே it is in parallel with the source voltage. parallel தானா? The branch 1 is in parallel with the source voltage. பாருங்க, the potential difference across the 5 microfarad எவ்வளவு? Source voltage which is 6 volt. So charge across the 5 microfarad எவ்வளவு வரும்? Charge is what? And the capacitor capacitance value 5 microfarad multiplied by the potential difference, அது எவ்வளவு? 6. 5 6 are what? 30. Micro அப்படியே இருக்கும். Faraday into volt is what? Coulomb. So இந்த வேல்யூ நமக்கு வந்தது, what is it? 30 micro coulomb. பாருங்க, what is the charge on the 5 microfarad capacitor? 30 microcoulombs. ஓகேவா? அதுக்கப்புறம் we have to find what is the charge on the 2 microfarad capacitor. ஓகே, அது எப்படி வரும்? இங்க பாருங்க, this 3 and 2 they are in series. இப்போ இந்த ரெண்டு கெபாசிட்டர் நம்ம அதோட ஈக்குவலன்ட் கெபாசிட்டன்ஸ் வச்சு ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணா, what is the equivalent capacitance value? Series, right? Means what? C1 into C2 by C1 plus C2. Other than a formula which is what? 3 into 2 by 3 plus 2. What is it? 6 by 5 varum. So equivalent capacitance எவ்வளவு? 6 by 5 microfarad. So branch 2, other than a branch 2 எப்படி இருக்கா? That is also in parallel to the voltage source. Okay, so branch 1 இங்க இருக்கா, that is the 5 microfarad. இப்போ நம்ம அதை பத்தி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறது. We are looking at only what? branch 2. branch 2 is also parallel to the source voltage, right? So இங்க பாருங்க, across C equivalent அது எவ்வளவு? same 6 volt. ஏன்னா source voltage எவ்வளவு? 6 volt தானா? which means charge on the equivalent capacitor, equivalent capacitance oda value oda 6 by 5 microfarad, right? So what is the charge on that? 6 by 5 microfarad into the potential difference oda 6. So totally enna varudhu? That is coming as what? 36 by 5 microcoulombs. Adu the charge on the equivalent capacitor. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? when you are having series combination of capacitors, இங்க என்னது 3 and 2 are in series, charge on each of them will be equal and it will be equal to the equivalent capacitance. இப்போ இந்த 3 microfarad and 2 microfarad ரெண்டு சேர்த்து தானே நம்ம replace பண்ணது by using the equivalent capacitance. So whatever is the charge on the equivalent capacitance, right, will be the charge on both 3 microfarad capacitor as well as 2 microfarad capacitor. That will be the charge on both 3 microfarad capacitor as well as 2 microfarad capacitor. Okay. So we are getting what is the charge on the 2 microfarad. Adavada 36 by 5 microcoulombs dana. So avanga enna kekranga, they are asking ratio of the charge on 5 microfarad capacitor 2 microfarad. Paranga. So what will be the ratio of the charge? Avladana. So we just have to take the ratio 30 divided by 36 by 5. 30 divided by 36 by 5. Okay, so what is the ratio of the charge? 30 divided by 36 by 5. In the 5 அப்படியே numerator போய்டும். So what is it? 30 into 5 by 36. இங்க பாருங்க 6 5s are 6 6s are. So எவ்வளவு வருது? 25 by 6. What is the ratio coming as? Charge on the 5 microfarad is to charge on the 2 microfarad. What is the ratio coming as what? 25 by 6. பாருங்க. How much it will come? 25 by 6, which is what? None of these. See, another sometimes we'll have this notion, maximum none of this varadhan solitary, we'll be having that mindset. But need at least in some questions, right, they can purposefully give us a thing like this. Because some of the people who are trying to guess the option, right, by default they will think that none of these varadhan solitary. Okay. But sometimes if you are confident in our approach, right, you will be clear that some of the questions will also have none of these as the answer. அப்படி கொடுக்கலாம். Okay, so we should be, இப்போ நமக்கு அந்த மூணு ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்ல ஆன்சர் வரலன்னு சொல்லிட்டு we should not be thinking that we are wrong or anything. So if you are confident in the approach, right, sometimes the questions might be having, by purpose itself they might give none of these as the answer. Okay, va? So what is the answer for this? The actual ratio 25 by 6. Okay. But namakita irukra options la adilla. So that is why it is what? None of these. So Maithili, you are saying option C. I think that is for the previous question. Okay. But for this question, right, the ratio of charge on the 5 microfarad and 2 microfarad are 25 by 6, which will be what? None of these varum paranga. Okay va? Another question paranga. Find the charge on the 3 microfarad. So there is a 3 microfarad. அந்த 3 microfarad மேல நம்ம சார்ஜ் ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ணணும். இங்க என்ன இருக்கு பாருங்க, this 3 and 9 are in எப்படி இருக்கா parallel. 3 and 9 are what? Parallel. So இந்த ரெண்டுத்தையும் நம்ம ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணா என்ன வரும்? If you replace both of them by the equivalent capacitance, அது எவ்வளவு? Parallel means what? C1 plus C2, right? So 9 plus 3 எவ்வளவு வரும்? 12 வரும். So 9 and 3 அதோட ஈக்குவலன்ட் கெபாசிட்டன்ஸ் வச்சு ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணா that is what? 12 microfarad. ஓகேவா? இப்போ பாருங்க இங்க நம்ம சோர்ஸ் இருக்கா, அது என்னது 40 volt. ஓகேவா? சோ இதுல இருந்து when we look at the 4 and 12, அது எப்படி? they both are in series. 4 and 12 are in series. இந்த ரெண்டுத்தோட ஈக்குவலன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு வரும்? 4 and 12 series means what? 4 into 12 by, remember what is the equivalent capacitance in series? C1 into C2 by C1 plus C2 தானா? 4 into 12 by 4 plus 12 எவ்வளவு? 4 into 12 by 4 plus 12 means 16 தானா? 4 4s are அதுக்கப்புறம் 4 3s. so இதோட ஈக்குவலன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு வருது? 3 microfarad வருது. so this is the final equivalent. இதனது 3 microfarad is the final equivalent. இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா? we will try to work backwards. so இது ஒரு typical model. என்னன்னா like they will give us இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு set of them will be in series, அதுக்கப்புறம் there will be some parallel combination. அதுல என்ன they will ask particularly what is the charge on this 3 microfarad இல்லனா what is the charge on the 9 அப்படி கேட்பான். ஓகே, இந்த மாதிரி क्वेश्चंसல என்ன பண்ணனும்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம அப்படியே அந்த சர்க்யூட் fully simplify பண்ணனும். like step by step நம்ம simplify பண்ணனும். simplify பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் we will get final equivalent capacitance வரும். இங்க பாருங்க final equivalent capacitance எவ்வளவு? 3 microfarad. ஓகே, இப்போ இதுக்கு மேல what is the charge on 3 microfarad பாருங்க. charge on 3 microfarad எவ்வளவு? capacitance 3 microfarad into potential difference எவ்வளவு? source potential 40 volt, which is what? 40 into 3 120 microcoulombs. charge on the 3 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 120 microcoulombs. okay, இங்கிருந்து என்ன தெரியுமா? நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி first we will fully அந்த இருக்கிற சர்க்யூட் நம்ம சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணணும். சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப் பின்னாடி போகணும். we should just go backwards. இப்போ பாருங்க 3 microfarad என்னது? it is the equivalent capacitance of 4 and 12. 4 and 12 எப்படி இருக்கா? சீரிஸ் தானா, which means charge on this equivalent அது எவ்வளவு? 120 microcoulombs will be charge on this 4 microfarad, which will be also the charge on the 12 microfarad. ஏன் அப்படி வருது? because series combination, right? series combination இதனது 4 and 12 series. so அதோட equivalent capacitance whatever the charge it is having, right? 4 also will have the same charge, அந்த மாதிரி 12 also will have the same charge. இப்போ நீங்க இங்க அப்சர்வ் பண்ணுங்க, இதுதான் நம்மளோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஏரியா. ஏன்னா because they are asking us what? charge on the 3 microfarad. இங்க பாருங்க the 12 microfarad என்னது? that is the equivalent of 9 and 3. 12 microfarad க்கு மேல what is the charge? 120 microcoulombs. பாருங்க, what is the potential difference across 12 microfarad? what is the potential difference? அதோட charge divided by capacitance. so micro cancel ஆயிடும். என்னது? 10 volt. the potential difference across the 12 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10 volt. see, நம்ம ஒரு equivalent capacitance அதோட original series combination அங்க என்ன ரிலேஷன் வரும்? charge relation, because series combination will have the same charge which is equal to the charge of the equivalent capacitor. parallel case என்ன? when you are having a parallel combination, the parallel combination will have the same potential difference which is equal to the potential difference on the equivalent capacitor. அதனால என்ன தெரியுமா? on the 12 microfarad we are straight away finding what is the potential difference. ஏன் நம்ம இப்படி பண்றது? why? because the 9 and 3 are parallel combination. so whatever the potential difference, இங்க நமக்கு எவ்வளவு வருது? answer 10 volt. so the potential difference on the 9 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10 volt. potential difference on the 3 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10 volt. ஏன்னா 9 and 3 are what? parallel, right? so they will have the same potential difference which is equal to the potential difference on their equivalent. and the ரெண்டு capacitance ஓட equivalent எவ்வளவு? 12 microfarad, right? what is the potential difference on that? 10. அதனால 9 also will have the 10 volt, 3 also will have the 10 volts potential difference. இப்போ நமக்கிட்ட ஆன்சர் இருக்கா? என்னது? 3 microfarad capacitance, right? what is the potential difference on that 10 volt? so what will be the charge? charge will be what? capacitance into voltage, that is what? 3 into 10 எவ்வளவு? 30. so 30 microcoulombs, அதுதான் ஆன்சர். so what is the charge on the 3 microfarad? அதனது 30 microcoulombs. இங்க என்ன தெரியுமா? what is this model of question? first நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? அப்படியே நம்ம அங்க இருக்கிற சர்க்யூட் fully நம்ம சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணணும். சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் you will be able to get the information and the final equivalence capacitance you will get some information like we are able to find what is the charge on that equivalent capacitance. Anga we should just go step by step back. Nama backwards போகும்போது we will be able to find out whatever is the unknown things. Idhil enna theriyuma, when you are relating equivalent capacitance to the corresponding series combination, adoda series combination koda nama link பண்ணும்போது what is the thing we will have to link? Charge link பண்ணோம். When you are linking a equivalent capacitance to its parallel combination, அங்க என்ன நம்ம லிங்க் பண்ணனும்? We should link the voltage. So on the point மட்டும் நமக்கு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். ஓகேவா? So this is how we will solve questions like this. This is a very important model. ஓகேவா? So அடுத்து பாருங்க. So இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம பார்த்தது என்ன? They are giving the source voltage. And the source voltage கொடுத்துட்டு they are asking us what? Potential difference on one capacitor இல்லனா charge on one capacitor அப்படி கேட்கலாம். That is one model. So இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம பார்த்தது என்ன? They are asking charge on the 3 microfarad. இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா? They can even frame a question like this. They can ask what is the potential difference across the 9 microfarad or what is the potential difference across the 4 microfarad அப்படி கேட்கலாம். Okay, so all these things will be solved in the same approach. நீங்க என்ன இந்த approach ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். Okay, in the question பாருங்க, what is this? In the circuit shown in the figure, potential difference across 3 microfarad கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. What is it? 10 volt. அந்த 3 microfarad capacitor தெரியுமா? Potential difference across that capacitor 10 volt. Find the potential difference on each capacitor. So இது general problem. அதனால என்ன, we are asking find on each capacitor. But நீங்க neat level பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you will have what? Particularly ஒரு case கேட்பாங்க, like they will ask what is the potential difference on the 4 microfarad இல்லனா what is the potential difference on the 5 microfarad. Okay, but since we are practicing, right, we want to find potential difference on each of them. இது எப்படி நம்ம அப்ரோச் பண்றது பாருங்க. இதுல என்ன, they are giving us information about one capacitor. ஆல்ரெடி அந்த ஒரு capacitor பத்தி ஃபைனல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கா. இப்போ பாருங்க, 3 micro and 9 micro are in parallel தானா? Parallel potential difference will be same. அப்ப என்னது? Potential difference on the 9 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10 volt தானா? Potential difference on 3 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10. 9 and 3 are in parallel. So potential difference on 9 also will be what? 10. Okay va? So potential difference on 9 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 10 volt. Okay, இப்போ பாருங்க, we can find what is the charge on this 3 microfarad. அதோட potential difference into capacitance. அது என்ன வரும்? 3 into 10 30 microcoulomb வரும். அந்த மாதிரி இங்க எவ்வளவு சார்ஜ்? 9 microfarad மேல எவ்வளவு சார்ஜ்? 9 into 10 90 microcoulombs. ஓகேவா? இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா? When we replace both of them by the அதோட equivalent capacitance, நம்ம replace பண்ணா what will be the total charge on this? Q is equal to what? Q1 plus Q2 தானா? If you are replacing both of them by the equivalent, what is the charge on the equivalent value? Q1 plus Q2, which is 90 plus 30 எவ்வளவு? 120 microcoulombs. இந்த பக்கம் என்ன இருக்கா? There is this, இங்க ஒரு 5 வருது, அந்த மாதிரி இங்க 1. ஓகேவா? So இப்போ பாருங்க, இந்த equivalent capacitance மேல what is the charge? 120 microcoulombs. The 4 microfarad and equivalence எப்படி இருக்கா? Series combination தானா? இங்க பாருங்க, 4 and C equivalent, அது எப்படி இருக்கா? Series combination means if this side there is a negative means this side there will be positive, but they will have equal charge. So charge on 4 microfarad அது எவ்வளவு? 120 microcoulombs. So potential difference on 4 microfarad அது என்ன வரும்? Charge நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கா? 120. So potential difference is what? Charge divided by the capacitance value. What is it? 30 volts. So இப்படி நம்ம இதை approach பண்றது, we are able to replace both these 9 and 3 with the equivalence. Replace பண்ணா what we are having? The charge on this equivalence will be equal to what? Charge on the 4 microfarad. ஏன்னா 4 microfarad and the equivalence they are in series மாதிரி தானா? So both of them will have the same charge. அதுலேருந்து we are able to find what is the potential difference across 4 micro. So பாருங்க, we are able to get potential difference across 4 microfarad. அது எவ்வளவு வருது? 30 volt. Potential difference across the 4 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 30 volt. ஓகேவா? இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்? பாருங்க, this 5 and 1 are in parallel. 5 microfarad and 1 microfarad எப்படி இருக்கா? are in parallel. இப்போ நம்ம அந்த ரெண்டுத்தையும் ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ண வச்சுக்கோங்க. we will replace both of them by one equivalence. இந்த ரெண்டு வேல்யூஸ் நம்ம ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்ணா அதோட ஈக்குவலன்ஸ் கெபாசிட்டன்ஸ் எவ்வளவு? 5 plus 1 6. இது எப்படி இருக்கா? இது என்னது? 4 micro. This is the equivalence of 9 and 3. அதுக்கப்புறம் this is the equivalence of what? 5 and 1. All of them are in series மாதிரி தான? series, which means what? The charge on this 6 microfarad எவ்வளவு? same 120. Charge on the 6 microfarad எவ்வளவு? 120, which means the potential difference on 6 microfarad எவ்வளவு வருது? What is the potential difference? 120 by 6. What is it? 20 volts வரும். பாருங்க, the equivalence, இப்போ இந்த 5 and 1 நம்ம ஒரு equivalence capacitor வச்சு replace பண்ணா what is the potential difference across that 20 volt? Remember, a equivalent capacitor will have the same potential difference as the parallel branch from which we are getting. அப்படிதானா? So equivalent capacitance இங்க பாருங்க, 6 எப்படி வருது? It is the equivalent capacitance of 5 and 1 which are in parallel. So the potential difference across the 6 microfarad is coming as what? 20 volts. That will be the potential difference on both the 5 microfarad as well as 1 microfarad. Here both are in parallel. So potential difference across 5 microfarad as well as 1 microfarad, அது எவ்வளவு? 20 volts. ஓகேவா? So இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா? We can even sometimes they can ask what is the source voltage னு கேட்கலாம். இப்போ பாருங்க, first என்ன வருது? 4 microfarad வருது. What is the potential difference on that? 30. அதுக்கப்புறம் we are getting 9 and 3 parallel branch. What is the potential difference across the branch? 10 volt. Parallel branch potential difference will be same as the equivalence. அதுக்கப்புறம் we are getting a parallel branch of 5 and 1. What is the potential difference on that branch? 20 volt. பாருங்க, what is the overall source voltage? இங்க எவ்வளவு வருது? potential difference 30. அதுக்கப்புறம் 10. அதுக்கப்புறம் 20. What is it? 10 plus 30 plus 20 எவ்வளவு? 60 volts. So the source voltage எவ்வளவு? 60 volts. So they can even ask that. Either they can ask us the information about any of the capacitors, or they can be asking us even like this. ஓகேவா? So இதோட we'll try to hold today's class. Next session என்னன்னா we'll start with the model 2. Model 2 is what? நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி symmetric. So இதுல என்ன தெரியுமா? We'll discuss about the Wheatstone bridge. So இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு arrangement தான் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? Wheatstone bridge னு சொல்லுவோம். So Wheatstone bridge will be for the resistors also as well as the capacitors also. So model 2 ல என்னன்னா we'll have Wheatstone bridge and the infinite series. Okay. So maximum நீங்க இந்த ரெண்டு மாடல்ஸ் கவர் பண்ணாலே that will be sufficient for the NEET examination. சொன்ன மாதிரி third, fourth and fifth is like கொஞ்சம் extension. So if you are able to prepare, that means it will be good. இல்லைன்னா பரவாயில்ல, like you know, if you are thorough with model 1, maximum என்ன model 1ல இருந்தா you will get questions. So model 1 and 2 நீங்க கவர் பண்ணாலே you will be able to do maximum number of questions. Okay va? So we'll start about the model 2 in the next session. Next session enna we'll look at model 2. அதுக்கப்புறம் model 3, 4, 5 we'll look at only one example. ஏன்னா நம்ம அந்த அவ்வளோ டீட்டெயில்டா அதில் கவர் பண்ணது கிடையாது. we'll just look at what is the basic idea. அதை கவர் பண்ணிட்டு we'll solve at least one problem in each of them. Okay, so maximum next session la we'll try to complete this discussion on the circuit and the capacitors circuit. அது முடிச்சிட்டு one more session we will take on the capacitors with dielectrics. அதோட we will try to wind up the chapter electrostatic potential and capacitors, right? It will be getting completed. Okay, so one session for this remaining models of the capacitor circuit. அதுக்கப்புறம் one session on the capacitor with dielectrics. Okay va? So we'll see in the next session.